Alright, I thought I'd shoot one more quick video. I'm out here early before church. I have re-bled the rear brakes on this, and I have readjusted the pedals so that when I mash the brake pedal I get a good lock on these rear wheels, which is the way this hydraulic system sets up. Basically this runs from the master cylinder through the system and back out to the rear brake. And it's working good. I'm gonna set you over here and I'm gonna crank the car up. I got the back wheel up in the air. I've got the brakes locked on it now. I'm going to crank the car up. I'm going to put it in reverse. I'm going to ease the clutch out, and it will kill the motor, which basically, means that the brakes are sturdy enough to stop the car with that much pressure on it, which is the test that they kind of use when you go to get it inspected. They say put it in gear and try to move it, So you got to have brakes that work good enough so that it won't move, so that the car won't move. Which is what we have right now. I've already got the brakes locked. When I let them out, they don't release. What I did there was released them, spun them, locked them back, and now they're locked. When I release the brake, they're free. So, there we are. That's what we were working on for this morning. I'm out here early. Out here early before church, messing around with the hot rod. I've got some other thoughts in my head I'll go ahead and share with you. I was talking about sitting down low in the car, and I found this old board. I'd forgotten I had it, that I used to keep in the back of here, and I'm thinking, well, that would be, if I made something up like this, I could swing it forward and have a little storage area back there to put a blanket or a jacket or something like that. I could pad this, instead of buying a seat, I could pad this. I could take this piece of steel that runs across here and cut it and drop it. In other words, split it and bend it down so that my little fat bottom would sort of sit down inside there. I believe that would work pretty well, get me down about as low as I could possibly get there. I got this old sort of padded seat mat sitting in here to keep me from sitting right on the steel, and in all actuality, when I'm sitting right here, as far as location and everything, it's completely comfortable. Of course, it's not so very comfortable on my old fat bottom. But I mean, I sit in here just right. My feet go right to the right pedals. Everything's perfect like this. So I'm thinking I've got that oak floor, and what I'm going to do later is put the oak floor in here. That's going to raise me up by an inch. I'm not sure how much difference an inch is going to make. But we may come to something different here. I might wind up splitting this big piece of metal here, dropping the back of it, and then remaking my floor. Stan's got a big piece of aluminum in his shop that he's offered to let me have or sell it cheap or something. And I was thinking I might wind up taking that big piece of aluminum and remaking my floor out of it instead of out of that oak, and then keep this little back piece here as, put a little back piece here as a removable thing. Anyway, that's kind of the direction that my thinking's going in this morning. Just thought I'd share that with y'all. Have a nice day. Is sweet. I'll do one more little bit on as far as the seat location and the floor and everything. I went ahead and set the oak plank. I got this thing all set up with oak planks to make my floor out of, and it actually works pretty good. It looks pretty good. Everything lines up pretty good. my thinking was, okay, so with the oak floor, you're raised up about an inch. Is it going to make that much difference? So I went ahead and set this one over in here. And when I climb back in here, it doesn't. You know, that's still fine. I don't really need to be a lot lower than that. I suppose if I wanted to get fancy, I could take a grinder and grind out a little spot on the bottom of here. The main thing is I need to keep whatever I put in here for a seat nice and low. I may wind up putting the oak floor back in here, but cutting out a little notch where that seat's going to sit down in there. After I figure out whatever I'm going to use for a seat, which I don't even know yet. But anyway, I'm just working all this out in my mind as we go along here.